I grew up in Ajegunle. If you know that name, then you already know. We don't live, we survive. Our street wasn't paved with dreams. It was packed with sweat, dust, and the smell of fried akara and broken hope. You wake up, you hustle, you pray you don't die before night. My name is Tobi. I'm 22. Some days I sell secondhand earphones and use power banks under a leaky umbrella by Boundary Market. Other days I fix broken chargers or help Okada riders load their GPS apps for 100 naira. I wasn't a thief, but hunger can make your shadow start looking like a criminal. My mother died when I was 15. Cancer, no hospital, no treatment, no second chance. She died at home on a mattress that had seen too many rainy seasons. Since then, it's just been me and my little sister Mira. She's 10 now, bright, fast-talking, the kind of girl who makes the teachers forget that her school fees are overdue. I never wanted her to end up like me, counting coins, dodging landlords, pretending one sachet of milk can last a week. One day I asked a customer, "Oga, a beg, make I round it up to 1,000? He looked at me and said, "Tobi, you sabi hustle, but hustle no be future." I laughed it off, but that night his words followed me home. I laid awake in our small room, just one light bulb, 2 plates, and Mira's cough in the darkness. That cough was the beginning of everything. It started with a cough, small at first. Mira would cough twice and laugh it off. I thought maybe it was the harmattan dust, or maybe she drank cold water again from Mama Ifeoma's stall. But the cough didn't stop. It got deeper, rougher. Then came the fever. I bought her Panadol, boiled ginger and garlic, made pepper soup with dry fish, and prayed it would chase the sickness away. But by the 3rd night, her whole body was shaking. She couldn't even lift her head. I carried her on my back to the nearest government clinic. Her arms were burning. Her voice, barely a whisper. The nurse looked at me and said, "Oga, this one don pass malaria. You need full blood test. X-ray, possible admission." I nodded, but when I saw the list they handed me, my heart sank. It was long, complicated, filled with tests I couldn't even pronounce. That's how life talks to poor people, in medical terms and impossible costs. I told the nurse I'd be back. I wasn't sure how, but I had to be. That night I went to every stall I knew. I begged, I lied, I borrowed. Someone gave me 1,000 naira. Another one gave me a bag of rice to sell. I even considered selling my small speaker. Still, I wasn't close. Then someone whispered something that would change everything. "Guy, why you dey stress? Just go see that man near Coconut Bridge. He dey run one small package. Clean work. Money go double. No story." I laughed, but I didn't sleep that night because by morning, Mira's eyes had turned yellow and I was out of options. I went back home with empty hands. Mira was sweating through her bedsheet, mumbling things I couldn't understand. Her eyes were dull now, like light bulbs with no power. I sat beside her and whispered, "Just hold on for me, Mira. I'll fix it, I promise." But deep down, I didn't know how. That night, I found the man by Coconut Bridge. He didn't talk much, just looked me over, like I was something on sale. "You dey sure you want to do this work?" he asked. I hesitated. Then I thought about my sister, and I nodded. He handed me a small black nylon. "Inside there, one phone and some papers. You go drop AM for that compound near Navy Barracks. Just knock, give the gate boy, and walk away. No talk, no turn back. You go receive call later for your money." I asked, "No, wouldn't be this now? I just want to raise small cash. I know one wahala." He looked at me and smiled. "You dey ask too many questions for person where they drown." That was it. No names. No details, just a package, and the hunger in my life was louder than the fear in my chest. I delivered it the next morning. I did exactly as he said, knocked, handed it over, walked away. No one followed me. No one said a word. For the first time in weeks, I felt something close to hope. I even started calculating how much hospital deposit I could make once the money dropped. I bought Mira a bottle of Lucozade with the last 200 Nira I had. She smiled at me for the first time in days, and I thought, just maybe, we were going to be okay. But by nightfall, nobody called me. By morning, the news hit the streets. Robbery near Navy Barracks. 3 men escaped. 1 suspect on the run. I didn't understand what was happening. I wasn't there when it happened. I didn't even enter the house. But in this city, truth is a luxury poor people can't afford. By the next day, I saw plainclothes men walking through the market, asking questions, showing blurry pictures from CCTV. I stayed low, hid my face, watched the streets. But someone I knew, pointed at me, and just like that, my world ended. I was in front of my stall pretending to arrange phone cases when they came. 2 plainclothes officers. No warning, no talk. The first punch landed on my ribs, the second on my mouth. Before I could speak, they had thrown me to the ground like trash. My head hit the concrete. I tasted blood. People gathered, but no one helped. Some shouted, some filmed, some just looked away. Because in this place, when SARS or police say you're guilty, you're guilty. They dragged me to a black Hilux. I kept screaming, I don't know anything. I didn't steal. I just delivered a phone. But it was like talking to a wall. At the station, they didn't ask questions. They beat me until I couldn't speak. They kicked my legs, slapped my ears, tied my hands behind my back like goat meat. One officer whispered, just confess, say you join. Make we write statement. I looked up at him with swollen eyes and said, I swear, I no thief. I no say dem go rob. He sighed, then brought out a long rubber whip. Then you go talk after this one. 3 days. That's how long they held me before letting me see sunlight. 3 days of pain. 3 days of begging. 3 days of silence. No phone call. No lawyer. No family. I finally saw Mira's face again, on a torn piece of paper. My neighbor had tried to bring food to the station, but they turned him back. He left me a note. Mira de hospital now. Dem say her condition day worse. I cried like a child, not because of the beatings, but because I broke my promise. They moved me to court. I thought maybe the judge would listen. Maybe someone would care. But when I walked into that courtroom, in handcuffs with swollen lips and no shoes, I knew how the story was going to end. They called my name, read the charges. Armed robbery, aiding criminal activity, obstruction of justice. They said I matched the description, that I was seen in the area. No fingerprints, no footage, no weapon, no evidence, just a face that fit the story. My lips trembled as I tried to speak. I didn't do it. I didn't even enter the house. But the courtroom was already cold. The judge said I would remain in custody until trial. No bail, no hearing date, no mercy. I looked around the room searching for a familiar face. No one came. Not my neighbor, not my landlord, not even Mira. As the prison van doors shut behind me, I whispered to myself, this is not how my life was supposed to go. But it had already gone. Prison is not a place. It's a feeling. It's the feeling of being forgotten. The cell they put me in had 23 other boys. Some were even younger than me. One said he was just 16 when they picked him up during NSARS. Some had been there for years without trial, waiting, rotting, losing count of the days. No calendar, no clock, just cockroaches, sweat, and the sound of metal doors closing. The first night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing Mira's voice in my head, soft, calling my name. I held my knees and cried quietly in the corner so the others wouldn't see. But in prison, tears are a luxury. You learn to hide them quickly. Weeks passed, then months. Still no trial, no lawyer. One day I asked the warder, Oga, abeg, what in day happened to my case? He laughed. Your file don't enter bush. If you no get lawyer or money, now here you go die. That evening during roll call, a fight broke out. Two boys were stabbed with sharpened spoons. That was when I realized, this place doesn't just punish you, it tries to change you, turn you into something else. Angry, hopeless, silent. But somehow, I held on. Every night I whispered one thing to myself: you are not what they say you are. Then something happened that I'll never forget. A man came to the prison for literacy outreach, teaching inmates how to read and write letters to appeal their cases. He gave us paper. He said, "Write your truth. You never know who might read it." And so I began to write. My name is Tobi Ayodele. I'm not a thief. I'm not a killer. I'm not a saint either. I'm just a boy who made one wrong step. And in this country, one wrong step is all it takes. It's been 6 years since I entered this place. I've watched boys lose their minds, watched strong men cry into pillows like children, watched dreams shrink into silence. But I've also learned something else. Stories matter. That's why I keep writing. They brought me back to court one last time. This time, I didn't hope. I didn't dream. I didn't even pray. I just stood, a shell of the boy I used to be. The judge looked tired. The courtroom was half empty. My name was called like I was nothing more than a case file on a desk. Tobi Ayodele, on charges of aiding armed robbery and obstruction of justice. This court hereby sentences you to 20 years imprisonment with hard labor. Just like that. No emotion, no second glance. 20 years. Longer than I'd even been alive. My knees gave out. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat on the floor, staring at my own hands, wondering what exactly I'd done to deserve this. Was it because I was poor? Was it because I didn't know the right people? Was it because I dared to fight back against fate? They dragged me up and carried me away, and as the prison van drove off, I looked through the bars at the city I used to call home. It didn't look back. Back in my cell, the other inmates gathered around. Nobody said anything, but one boy, Uche, whispered, "Me too. They gave me 18 years. I was just waiting for a bus." Another said, "My own mistaken identity. 2 years now. Still here." That night we didn't sleep. We just talked about how it feels to be crushed by a system that never knew your name. Later, when the others slept, I sat alone in the corner. I wrote one sentence in my notebook. I am not just a prisoner. I am what this country does to the poor. Every week, the prison teacher brings me paper. He smuggles out my letters, sends them to a group that helps people like me. They say my words are now being read by lawyers, by journalists, even by strangers. Maybe someone out there will care. Maybe someone will ask, who is this boy that Nigeria forgot? Mira, if you ever hear this, I'm sorry. I tried to save you. I failed. But if you're still out there, still alive, I hope you're strong. I hope you're free. I hope you don't hate me for disappearing. I didn't leave you. They took me. To anyone listening, if you think this can't happen to you, think again. All it takes is poverty, a little desperation, and a system that sees your skin and not your soul. You don't have to carry a gun to be called a criminal. Sometimes all you have to do is run. This is my story, and if you're hearing it, then maybe I still exist.